As a business owner, do you ever find yourself at home wondering if you remembered to turn on the security system when you left the store? Maybe you're driving home right now thinking about it. Stop wondering. Smarter Business Security, powered by Alarm.com, sends you an alert if you or an employee forget to turn on the system at night. And instead of driving all the way back to the store, you can easily turn it on from the Alarm.com app. With Alarm.com, you can know what's happening at your business all the time. See how by visiting alarm.com/business today.
Blog Talk Radio.
There's a lot of things I passed on 85. Sometimes I may get lost, but when I'm lost I pay the cost and find my path back as I drive. There's a highway to the road again. There's a highway. There's a highway to where it begins. There's a highway. There's a highway to where it begins. There's a highway. As your life goes through so many changes, and the road don't look good when you're blind. They try to help you see, but you don't want to be free, and you drive back to the place to leave. Now there's a highway on the road again. There's a highway. There's a highway to where it begins. There's a highway. There's a highway to where it begins. There's a highway. Every mile that I travel brings me closer to where I need to be. No matter near or far, I'll travel in my car to be free, to be free. There's a highway to where it begins. There's a highway. There's a highway to where it begins. There's a highway to where it begins. There's a highway to every road. When you come to the crossroads, look. It's a direction, but only one way that can take you where you need to be. There's a highway to where it begins. There's a highway. There's a highway to where it begins. There's a highway. There's a highway. There's a highway to where it begins. To where it begins. To where it begins.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Saturday night, and and it is Off the Chain. I'm your host, Yvonne Mason, and yes, my guest did call in. I'm so excited. I have been looking so forward to this show. Y'all have no idea. There is no way on God's green earth that we are going to be able to talk about everything that I have taken notes on in one session. So when I introduce him, the first question I'm going to ask is, will he come back? Because y'all just have to wait. You just have to wait a minute. But that's one of his song calls. It's a highway, and we will be discussing that song because that song has a very special meaning. I admire this man so much, and again, we'll get to him in a minute, but we have to do some housekeeping first. Welcome to the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to say a great, big, huge, fat thank you to all of you, my listeners, to my guests who keep coming back and bringing more guests and sending guests and making this show the phenomenon that it is. Because, like I tell y'all at every show, I know you probably get sick of it, but I don't care. This is not my show. It is your show. It is you, the guest. It is you, the listener. It is all of you who have supported me on this journey. Y'all have taken it with me, and I am so, so grateful. This morning when I ran the numbers just on the show, not the podcast, because y'all know that we're heard on iTunes and YouTube and Spotify and iHeartRadio and FM.com and TuneIn Radio and Spreaker and SoundCloud and Podcast.com and Podcast Garden and Mixcloud. You name it, we're on it. But just on the show, we're at 120,742 listeners. Now, just let that sink in, because y'all that have been taking this journey with me know this show's not even 2 years old yet. We won't be 2 years old until July. There's been a lot of things that have gone on in my life. I've had to rearrange some shows, and y'all have kept this show going, and I am so, so grateful and humbled. Now, my next question is, knowing what you know, that we're heard in over 200 countries, and countries I've never even heard of, that probably don't even have running water, but they have internet, why would you not want to be on the show, either as a guest or as a sponsor? It's your opportunity to be heard, ladies and gentlemen, whether you have a platform, whether you have a song, a book, a cause, or you just want to chat about politics, religion, I don't care. This is your opportunity. No, you don't get charged. The only time you get charged is a mere $10 if you want to run an ad. And I run it for 30 days, whether I have 10 shows, 20 shows, or even if I have to roll a show over because I've had to reschedule because of my husband. You can be on this show. All you have to do is contact me on offthechainradio@yahoo.com. And I'm telling you, I am booked until the beginning of November. And with November and December being short months because of the silly season, these are going to fill up fast. We'll start rolling over into next year. So if you want to be on the show, now is your opportunity. And I promise, I won't eat you alive the first time. I promise. I'll nibble, but I won't eat you alive. You'll have fun. Trust me. That being said, I want to thank two of our sponsors by doing their ads, first of all. Both of these ladies have been with me forever. The first one, her name is CeCe Chamberlain. She has a podcast. It's called Inside Your Life with CeCe, which is a motivational, passionate conversation. She interviews people who are truly living their purpose, whether it's a boxer, an author, a history enthusiast, a garbage collector, doesn't matter. She strives to give one hope for a brighter day with her inspirational words. So download, subscribe, and listen as CeCe guides you to pursue your dreams and for you to live your best life possible. Her wonderful, wonderful show is available on podcast.com, iTunes, Google Play, and everywhere that podcasts are available. Now, my second sponsor, and it's because of this show, ladies and gentlemen, her books went to #1 in Australia. Now, Australia is our biggest fan base at 92% listening. Thank you, Australia. Y'all are marvelous. And your band, the Teskey Brothers, they are absolutely just over the top. Y'all have to go look them up. But this author's books went to #1 in Australia. Her name is Diane Moat. She has a series of books called the Sam Holden series. The first in the series is Dog Gone. The second in the series is Dog Fight. And it goes like this. Wherever a helpless animal whimpers in the dark and wherever the system fails to protect said animal, she'll be there. And she's not giving up anytime soon. So you've been warned. When Sam Holden receives the tip about a brutal dogfighting ring, she embarks on some of her most dangerous acts of vigilantism yet. The monster known as the puppeteer circles Sam's world while she unknowingly circles his. As they chase each other, will Sam put those she loves most in harm's way in order to break up this ring? With time running out and animals in need, the dangerous life Sam created begins to eclipse any other life she could possibly ever lead. Download her books on Kindle, ladies and gentlemen. They are absolutely marvelous. Now, with that being said, yes, I've teased y'all enough. I can't talk tonight. This artist has been on my books for at least 4 months. And when I did my deep dive, which y'all know I always do, I couldn't wait to get him live on the show. He is not only a fantastic musician, he is a phenomenal human being, and he does something that's very close to my heart. And those of you who know me will understand why. His name is Rahn Anthoni. Rahn Anthoni. I hope I've pronounced it right. He is an award-winning Christian artist, and he took the international press and airwaves by storm with 2017's most inspirational track, I'll Trust You. I will play that one later on in the show. The song earned him a Radio Music Award and an Indie Music Channel Award and numerous other accolades, including the Man Up Award for his charity work. We're going to talk about that, too. Ron's history with inspirational music has helped him develop a positive relationship with God and the world of song. Despite the heartbreaking circumstances surrounding the death of his special needs son, Aaron Hatcher, and I don't cry easy, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm getting a little choked up. Ron has been able to turn tragedy into triumph, delivering a message of hope and love to the masses. Encouraged by the support the country music world showed his R&B-flavored music, Ron has returned with an ambitious new country soul tune that's reminiscent of Darius Rucker, Charlie Pride, and other soulful country artists, two of my favorites. Highway, which y'all just heard, ladies and gentlemen, and you have to listen to the words. They are so inspiring. It was written by Ron, and it tells of his journey from tragedy to triumph, looking back on the story of his life. It is released. It was released in January of this year. He also has a video out. He hails from a town just south of me. He hails from Jupiter. He's now living in Atlanta, where I was born and raised. So we already have two things in common, and we have a third y'all don't know. Y'all might know about, but some of you don't. He doesn't. Growing up, he got his first break singing backup for the songbird of the South, Dottie Peoples. Welcome, Ron. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being so patient and for coming on tonight.
I am so glad to be on your show. It's amazing to be able to talk about it and heal at the same time. So I appreciate you for having me on Off the Chain.
I'm telling you, and you know the show's not scripted. I don't do it scripted. We don't know where this show's going to go. But I want to read something before we get started, talking about your history and where you've been and where you are now, because something you wrote struck a nerve with me on many levels. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the song Highway is he wrote this. A song Highway is an inspiring life song about the road you are on. When we go through things in life, they take us where we need to be at the time of the inspiration. Look at the road of life as a highway and stay on that road of success. When we have a chance to live a life of gratitude, we take the right road and love all, no matter what. Highway is the way of life. Amen.
Yes. It's a highway, and
it's not the destination.
No.
It's the journey.
Yes. It's on your way. Yes.
Yes.
And you know,
Now, go ahead.
Can I say that? You know, sometimes on the highway, they have people on the access road going in the same direction.
Yep.
But they're on
do.
the wrong road.
Because it's just an access road.
Yes. So you know what I mean. And, oh, my goodness, this road. And, on the highway, you're going to see accidents. You may have an accident, but you keep going on the highway.
And you're going to see people on the side of the road that need your help.
Yes.
You're going to stop and help them.
Yes. You're going to stop and help them. And I just happened to get into a big accident. And I picked the pieces up and kept moving.
Well, before we talk about that, you and I share a common bond other than our love for country music, you being in Jupiter, me living in Florida, you now being in Atlanta, me being born and raised in Atlanta. If you did a deep dive on me, you know that I have a brother who is unique.
No, I didn't know that.
See, I don't call them special needs. They're unique.
Yeah,
he was born in 52, and he was never supposed to succeed. But he did. He is the reason I'm successful.
Yes.
He started me on this journey. Is he in
Atlanta?
He is still in Atlanta. He lives with my mom. He graduated from high school. He works at Publix, getting ready to retire, but he was not supposed to even be able to do the simple things in life. So when I read your story, and then I read what happened, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into that, but we're going to go back in history a little bit. I knew that an hour is not going to cover everything I want to talk about. So will you come back?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yes,
now that we've
I will.
got that out of the way, let's go all the way back to when you were a wee child and started on your journey. Did you ever think that you would be where you are today?
No, I never thought it. I knew I always wanted to, and I didn't know that, I didn't know that I would be able to, because growing up, I had a illness, and that was, I had nephrotic syndrome, lung disease. I had 800 cholesterol, and I just almost gave up because I didn't think that I would be able to make it through that as a child. And, and I was picked on because one of my legs was longer than the other, and I thought people were picking at me, but it was what I was thinking, and they weren't. They just didn't understand what was going on with me. And lungs collapsed on the way through that journey. Fluid of over 300 pounds of fluid in my body. So I'm like, okay, what is going on?
God had a purpose for you, Ron, and you had to go through those trials and tribulations to understand and appreciate the gift that you were given in your son.
Yes. And I understand and overstand and understand. I really do, because when I was swollen up with all that fluid, I kind of stayed to myself, but I wanted to sing. So I auditioned for Dottie Peoples, and she said yes. And I'm like, even with my I couldn't wear shoes. She said, even with your bare feet, she said you can sing. So I used to go to church and sing.
She was part of your journey.
Wow.
And that goes back to what you said about highway.
Yes.
We go through things in life. They take us where we need to be. And God gives us people when we need them.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Now, when I read about your son,
Yes.
my anger factor shot up about 10,000 points, because how dare someone take that precious life and not allow that precious life to give to the world his gift.
Yes. Yes,
Granted,
it was it.
Now, do you mind telling the listeners what allegedly happened?
I don't mind. I love talking about it because it'll help someone. Well, my son Aaron, he couldn't walk or talk. He had muscular dystrophy and cerebral palsy, so he was wheelchair bound. And he had a teacher, the first teacher, and this teacher, they passed gas in his face. She and other kids as well. She threw him out of the wheelchair. His hip was broken. She played his cries back to him, meant so he could hear it. They locked him in a room by himself, left him there to cry, and no one told us. So my son endured that because he couldn't tell us for 3 to 4 years. I'm thinking about 2 to 3 years, and it was covered up. We didn't know anything. We just knew. Now I can think back now that when he came, when I used to try to kiss him or come up to him, he would blink, 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 and he used to cry all the time because he didn't want to go to the school, but we didn't know. So we would send him, and he was abused again. Now, this first abuse happened around 2006 or 2007. And so in 2010, he was abused again, and I found out about this one. And so when I found out, this teacher, I just found out recently, because I'm still in court, I just found out he was locked in the room with this teacher. This teacher took a back brace, broke it, fastened it around his neck with a belt, and forced him to look at the front of the classroom. And that cut off his circulation, and it damaged him because this happened back and forth for months. And I tried to tell them, please stop this, and we were going to take him out, but they threatened to put us in jail, and they knew about it, and they did nothing about it. So when I went to the doctor, I told the doctor, you got to do something about this because this is damaging his airwaves. And Aaron, that month, he would go back and forth to the hospital. He would be flatlined. He would come back out of it. And this was like torture. And so eventually he was at home with his nurse, and he couldn't take that because that neck, it just damaged his airwaves, and he passed away. And so, it's like, they don't really care at the schools, and I encourage parents, I encourage you to get to know everybody at the school because they knew about it and they did nothing about it. And
so is this person going to prison for life?
No, because the Georgia law, the immunity law is that you, even though she admit to it, there's nothing that we can do because the immunity law saves her from. You can't be prosecuted for anything like that. And they're saying because he was crying, he was disrupting the class. So that's why they put him in the room by himself. And he was crying because his hip was broken. Now that we know. And there's really nothing you can do.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to put it out there in the universe, Ron. And because I am a witch, the universe listens. We all know that what you do to someone else comes back on you 10 times over. And if she does not get her comeuppance in this life, she will get it in the next life.
Yes.
And the saving grace is that your son is back with our God.
Yes.
And you got and what people don't understand is just because he could not articulate didn't mean he was stupid. He was a genius.
Right.
And they snuffed out a child that that part of our future fabric is forever ripped apart.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see why I am this. There is no excuse to hurt a child, especially one that children can't fight back anyway. But when you have a child who is unique, and one that cannot articulate, they can't fight back. They can't tell you they have a broken hip or their windpipe is being crushed or a teacher is too stupid to take care of things in the proper manner. She's more about her own self-serving selfishness, and she killed this child. Now that part of our future is gone forever.
Yes.
Ron, you have every right in the world to be bitter, but you're not.
No. And it's because I've learned so much, and I live my life from within, the power, the force within me. Now his family, they're real bitter, but I was chosen to handle this, and I can say I handled it. I'm proud of myself, even though I break sometimes, but I still fight because I can stand with these other kids, and I'm still going on to stop this immunity law, to amend it. I have a petition out there, and it's like people are afraid to help stop this because right now it's okay for them. It's the law. Nothing. She does nothing. She did nothing.
Well,
yes,
I'm going to tell you, part of changing it is being on this show and being heard in 200-plus countries and it going out on podcasts all over the world. And my gift to you is when this show goes off the air and it archives, I will put the link up on my page and tag you. And then tomorrow when I post it on all the podcasts, I will put those links up and tag you too. And you take these and spread them everywhere.
Yes. Yes, and
ladies and gentlemen, I'm on a roll. Honey, I got your back.
And it's so bad that it destroyed my marriage, and now, it destroyed everything. And because my wife couldn't live here, so she moved. And I have to stay here to finish this and deal because they're still dragging me through court, and it's like she couldn't go back and forth because we live in that area and the roads that we have to cross every day and the doctors, and it's a mental thing. And so,
and then of course I'm sure that there is a lot of guilt in the grief process of what she could have done different, and bottom line is nothing. Because nobody was listening. And your son, now, ladies and gentlemen, think about this. You're totally incapacitated. You cannot move. You cannot speak. You are being abused. You have no way of letting people know that you are being hurt. So you suffer in silence.
Yes, in silence.
And I'm going to play an ad, and then we're going to play a song. And I want you to listen to the song. We've got two more to play, but we're going to play the ads, and then we're going to play a song. This is Off the Chain with your host, Yvonne Mason, with my wonderful, wonderful guest, Ron Anthony, and we will be right back.
Do you have cougars on your porch swing? Are horses your new best friend? Do your nicest shoes get buried knee-deep in snow as your toes turn blue? Are you bothered by wolves at your woodpile? No, not that kind of wolf. Join wildlife artist and author Nancy Quinn and her family as they discover an exciting new life in Go West, Young Woman, a true Montana adventure. Available online and in bookstores. Or visit QuinnWildlifeArt.com for a personalized signed copy. Critics agree. It's a hoot.
Hi, this is Winona and Jade inviting you to join us and our wonderful guests on the And I Thought Women's Cave podcast
on Blog Talk Radio. To learn more about our books, the And I Thought series and
the Misfit Guides. They're available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNobles.com.
Or just to see what your ladies are up to, you can find all of that out on www.andwethought.com.
So peace and love from Winona
and Jade and our books.
You're so silly.
You silly.
Remember,
did you write that? That's funny.
Remember to visit us at andwethought.com.
I'll trust you. There was a story about a man who lost his child. He cherished that young one to the day he took his last breath. He was so special, you see he had to fight all his days and nights. But Daddy loved him anyway. I love him. His disease was only a phase, but something was bigger than the tears he cried. And only a father could hear the words that were unspoken. Fast forward. Even though he's in a better place, the thought still makes him cry all day. That's when he looks up in the sky and says, oh God, I still trust you. This may be the hardest thing for me to do, but I will. I still trust you. I know it's only a test, but I want you to know I'll trust you. Thought it was all over. He thought the pain would come no more. Just when he thought that it was time to move on, the stress kept piling on and on. What can you do when your heart won't let you live? So I said, doctor, can you fix me? This is taking a toll. I'm in need of your experience to make me whole again, to put me back together. And while you're working on me, I will put my trust in the only one that knows what's better for me. And I'll start by saying, Lord, I still trust you. This may be the hardest thing for me to do, but I will. Job, he came out on top of the world. God gave him to everything he ever lost. That was his reward for his faithfulness. God is not a man that he will lie. Look at how far you've come. Miracles have begun. Just like raising in the sun. Everything you've lost is finally here. And all that it took was your trust in him. And you don't have to wait for the bad. Just say it right now, Lord, I still trust you. This may be the hardest thing for me to do, but I will. It's only a test, but I want you to know that I still trust you. This may be the hardest thing for me to do, but I will. I still trust you. I know it's only a test, but I want you to know I'll trust you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is Off the Chain. I'm your host, Yvonne Mason, with my guest, Ron Anthony. And we're talking about Rahn's late son, who sadly was allegedly murdered by someone that was entrusted to take care of him and protect him, that being a teacher in school. Rahn, what made you write that song? That took a lot of faith to write that song.
Well, that was. It's just like when you're going through so much, especially to the point of losing the one you love, you only can trust God, and you still have to trust in the midst of what you're going through, because through that, I almost lost it, and I had to take my daughter and all, to a psychiatrist, and we both had to get our mind back. And I wrote that because I trust God. I never thought for 1 second that it was God. I always know that people make their own choices in life, and that song was and I knew that, and so that just came out of me. Just do it, and I trust God.
Well, I'm going to tell you,
what.
it is a very poignant song, and it hits home. Again, this makes us have another couple of things in common. I have a very deep, abiding faith. And when we lost our 13-year-old granddaughter to an asthma attack, that's what I told my children, is that God did not do this.
Right.
It's life. It happened. And we still have to trust that God's got the bigger plan.
Yes. And I remember that, he's with his father, and it's spiritually. And here, we're just here for now, and, just studying everything and learning how to live in this world. It has helped me to understand that people make their own choices, and things happen like this. It's life. And you have to keep moving no matter what. You keep loving. You keep doing everything that you have to do in order to stay afloat. Because if you don't, then you're going to open the floodgates. And that's where I was. It was like I was going to either follow this person and do everything that I could creatively do, just like I can creatively do things on this side. There's another side. But I chose this side. I chose it.
And what people don't understand is life is neither good or bad.
Right.
Life is life. And back to what you said, it is our choices that create the good or bad in our life. Yes.
That's it.
So let's say that this woman is never prosecuted because of the immunity clause. She still has to go to bed at night, sleep with herself, get up in the morning and look in the mirror at herself.
Yes.
Now, I'm wondering how hard a time she has living with herself.
Well, actually, let me tell you this. It's two teachers. The first one was covered up. The second one, this is a twist. They allowed her to still, and I can say her name, Kathy Dorn Durden. It's all over everywhere. And Melanie Pickens was the first one. But the Kathy Dorn Durden allegedly abused another child. And guess who told it? My daughter and her friend, because my daughter had to endure the same school while they allowed that teacher to stay at that school. And I had many times I had to go to the school and tell my daughter, do not touch that lady. Plenty times. And they watched, and one of her friends, they moved her to another school, and her friend, one of my daughter's friends, was at the school, who used to go to the same school, and happened, let me tell you how it's orchestrated, happened to be an assistant in this teacher's class. And they both got this lady and caught her, and she's out of the system now. But the school never allowed them to quit because they want to be hands-free. So this happened. This was like probably about within 6 to 7 months ago.
Oh, my
yes.
word. Now, because,
yeah.
and again, you're on this journey.
Yeah.
Your son gave up his life. A greater love
Yes.
hath no man that he give a life up for a friend. Had your son not been murdered, and we're going to call it like it is, had your son not been abused and murdered, you might not have taken the path that you took in your nonprofit organization for these wonderful children. Talk about that. Because then I want to play the song that goes with that nonprofit.
Okay. Well, first, I like to say that I had a cousin that was hydrocephalic, and I'm going to let you know this is how it was planned. I had to move to help take care of my cousin, and hydrocephalic is when they can't walk or talk and they have a water head, and it's like really, yes, that. So I had family members that had that, and so I was the one that was chosen to leave my home to go stay with my aunt to help, and so it led up to me having my own kids that were, that were what we call special needs, unique. I call them creative, and it all led to what happened with my son. That's what started the nonprofit. So what really pushed me is when this happened. And it's like, okay, I can't go after this lady. So all that hurt, anger, and that pain and that crying and all of that, it's still there, but it's into helping with this nonprofit. I mean, I do this like it's a drug. It's like
that is a beautiful thing, because what you did is you took all of the negative that could have been destructive, and you turned it around and made it positive and creative and something that will last into perpetuity. And this is what people don't understand. It takes a whole lot more energy to be angry and hurt and upset than it does to be productive. And instead of wasting your life with all the anger, the hurt, the blame God scenario, took this and it became something positive. And like you said, it was your drug of choice. It revitalized you.
It did. Yes, it did.
I want to play the song that goes with this nonprofit, because this resonates so well, and it also can be said of the elderly that are abused. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Off the Chain. I'm your host, Yvonne Mason, with my guest, music artist Rahn Anthony, and we are going to play another one of his songs.
Born unable to crawl, taking my first step. Born unable to pull myself up, achieving my first dream. Born unable to make the sign of a voice, speaking my first word. You're hurting me. Can't you see it in my face? Don't pick me up to throw me down. I wanna talk, but there's no time. When you hear me cry, don't shut me out. That's my way of saying you're hurting me. Wanna lock us up frequently. Police brutality, abusing when using their authority amongst the majority of us minority. Must make opportunity to survive financially in this land they call free. They've done. The power of authority. Special needs are being abused all across the
would take a stand against abuse by another teacher's hand. They will fight for what is right. They will stand against the accused and tell it for the sake of stopping abuse. They can't talk, but we can. They can't talk. No, no. And stand up for them. They can't talk, but we can. We can talk. Fight and stand up for them.
Take it a second, it was never picture perfect. Now the looks upon our faces will show you how so corrupted the system is. Self-destruction, but I say be scared of nothing. Just fight to be better beings, cause violence ain't the key. Hold up. Cameras in the class will stop the abuse. It will protect the teachers from being accused.
Let's fight to change the system that we have will still remain. When it's time to be abused, anything is no use.
We can. We got to fight and stand up for them. They can't talk, but we can. We got to fight and stand up for
Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, that's called They Can't Talk But We Can. It's written and sung by my guest, music artist Rahn Anthony. This is Off the Chain. I'm your host, Yvonne Mason. Ron, that is the most amazing song I've ever heard in my life. It tells the story, and it is powerful.
Thank you. And I involved everybody that had issues, and that's, the elderly. I'm standing for the elderly, just all of it, because it doesn't stop until we do something about it. They can't talk, but we can.
Absolutely.
And we can do something.
Now, with your nonprofit, what's it called? What does it do? And how can people get involved?
Okay, yes. It's called Aaron Hatcher's They Can't Talk, But We Can. And what we do is, I in Georgia, I go around, like, different people call me, and then I find people that's on the news. When I find out something's going on in the school, I go myself. I do it because, and then I have some people that'll go with me, and we go and we bring peace so that these kids will not be abused. I had a case just recently to have a child removed because he was the only one, that had had autism, and it was a charter school, so we had him removed because the teachers were picking on him. He was the only child. Yes. It was all on the news, and I was like, okay, I got to get in touch with this parent. So I do things like that, and I go and speak because Fulton County, the school system here, they know me. They know I'm very professional, but I carry that sword with me. And it's like you cannot do this to these kids. And so that's one thing that we do. And then I go around and I check on the elderly myself. And I want to go and make sure. I don't want, I just want to stop all of this. And at the end of the year, this is going to be our 4th year. We have the Special Needs Rock Awards, where we honor the kids, the elderly, the teachers, and different ones in the judicial system, and we talk about the issues. It's a great event. We have celebrities come, and we all sit there, and we have the entertainment, the food, and we have different people come out and speak. And I'm a host because I did host the Oscars in the red carpet. They didn't know I was a singer, so I host the Oscars, and I go get on their platform, and I ask questions. What can we do about the special needs, being abused in the elderly? So that's what we do.
Now, can people go online and find the organization?
Yes.
What would they look up?
They would go to theycan'ttalkbutwecan.org, and it's specialneedsrockawards.org.
You are amazing. You want to know something really funny, Ron? My brother, who is mentally and physically challenged, was a pioneer in the Fulton County school system in 1957.
Wow.
And it was an amazing system when they started it.
Yes.
And now
yes.
look where it's gone.
Yes.
It's gone down the toilet.
And I want to say this to everybody out there: it's all about money. They don't care about these kids. Even the kids that doesn't have challenges, they don't care. It's all about fulfilling that seat, and it's not right. They get paid for that seat. That's why they were going to put us in jail.
Is it still $200 or is it more?
Oh no, the kids with the challenges, it's in the thousands now.
Holy
That's
cow.
why they were going to put us in jail. Yes, they were going to put us in jail because we going to take our child out of school, Aaron, and they threatened us. And
they would have had to put me in jail. I would have given them a reason to put my happy ass in jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're messing with my young'un.
Yeah. And it's really it's bad. It's the worst here. I mean, it happens, but it's really bad here, and it happens all the time. They know about it, and they won't do anything about it. And I just want help. I just want help.
Well,
my
friend, you have a platform on this show as a regular. We're going to blow this apart on this show.
And
I want you to come back in November.
Man.
Will you come
I
back
will.
in November? We're going to talk about all of this because this is wrong on so many levels. And my heart breaks for you. But on the other hand, my heart swells with pride for you. Because you have taken an episode in your life that could have literally destroyed you, and you did not.
Yes. No, I didn't.
And I am so proud of where you are going with this and so proud of what you're doing, and you have a permanent spot on this show. We can talk about the case. We can talk about the nonprofit. We can talk about all the schools you go into. We'll name names.
Yes.
Because this is right up my alley. If you look at my little bio, I am an advocate for those who cannot advocate for themselves. This is up my alley, my friend. Little did Michael Stover, thank you, Michael. Little did Michael Stover realize what he did when he sent you to me. God sends us people.
Yes.
Now, on a lighter note, my darling friend. Yes, on a lighter note, we are running out of time. We have less than 3 minutes.
Okay.
Where can you be found?
RahnAnthoni.com, and you can. I'm available. You can call me 678-755-6470. I'm available to speak. I'm not about money. I just want this message out. That's all I want.
And he's also on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, under Rahn Anthoni, RahnAnthoni. And if you're my friend on Facebook, go look on my friends and look him up. This man is on a mission, and we need to stand with him, not behind him.
Yes.
We need to stand arm in arm with him to give a voice to those who cannot speak for themselves. Those of you who know me know how I feel about our population that cannot defend themselves. I will send my flying monkeys all over the world.
Yes.
Because let's help this man heal, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get on his wagon and let's take this journey with him. And go and buy his music. Please go and buy his music. Where can your music be found?
It's on iTunes, Spotify. It's also on my website as well. I forgot about the music, but yes, please. That supports the organization.
Yes, it is important. It's very important. You got me all teared up, and I never cry.
And I want to say this real quick. I want to stop people, so I want to stop it so they won't go through what my family went through, because a lot of people may not survive it. That's it. That's why
Absolutely. And I am, right? And you know what? I know that the liberal news media says prayers don't help. You know, we're tired of hearing our prayers and thoughts. Baloney, prayer helps. So you are going on my prayer list. And you know what I'm going to pray for you? I'm going to pray that God gives you strength and comfort.
Yeah. Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
No, y'all cannot go now. Rahn has said he will come back. I'm going to set him up for November. He will come back every couple of months because we are going to fight this fight together. He will give us updates. He'll send me new music, and he is a regular on this show. Contact him. If you know of an injustice, let him know. Give him names, because we're going to start naming names on this show. Judges, teachers, superintendents, school systems, we don't care. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, join us on Wednesday night when we start up again at 8 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. And I thank you, Rahn, so much for being on the show.
Thank you. And I love all you all. Thank you.
You are so welcome. You have made the end of my week wonderful. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know I always say this at the end of the show. People will forget your name. They will forget what you look like. They'll forget what you're wearing, but they will never, ever, ever forget how you made them feel. And after tonight's show, I challenge each and every one of you to go out and make someone feel important, because they are important, whether they are challenged or not, because, ladies and gentlemen, we're all challenged. Trust me, none of us are perfect. Also, if you want to achieve greatness, stop asking permission, because nobody's going to give it to you. They will try to stop you. And last but not least, connect with Rahn. Help with his nonprofit. Promote his nonprofit. And when there is an injustice, I don't care if it's in the state of Georgia, in the state of Florida, in the state of Cambodia, I don't care where it is. Let him know. And with that, I will say thank you, Rahn, again. I can't wait to get you back on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, you are so welcome, my friend. This is Off the Chain with your host, Yvonne Mason, and my guest, music artist, and advocate for those who cannot speak for themselves, Rahn Anthoni. And we wish you all a good evening. Rahn, thank you so, so much for being on the show tonight. Are you still with me? No. Lord.
Progressive presents Get Pumped. Inspiration to help you do insurance stuff.
Okay, time out. You're gonna let your budget be the boss of you? Take control with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Tell us what you want to pay for car insurance, and we'll help you find options that fit your budget. Here's some music to get you pumped. Da-dong, 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 dang, dang. I hear your budget laughing at you. Oh, wait, that's just those kids laughing at me. Ignore them! Da-dong, da-dong,
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hey Orlando, this is your city and Sprint is your network. Make the switch to Sprint and get the best price for unlimited. 4 lines for $25 per month per line and get the 5th line free. Visit your local Sprint store. Call 1-800-SPRINT1 or visit sprint.com/unlimited today. After $331.19, pay $38 per month per line with autopay, excludes taxes, surcharges, and roaming. Compared to unlimited HD rates from national carriers, features differ. Coverage and offer not everywhere. Subject to credit and $30 activation fee. Speed maximums, use rules, and restrictions apply.